Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of August Love Story, the podcast. I'm your host, Tommy T, and this is my beautiful co-host, my wife, the one, the only, Artieka T.
Why you sound like an MC?
I don't know.
Introducing me at a fashion show.
I don't know. I always wanted to do that. Hey, you guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for us and everything like that so you stay up to date with what we release. This episode today, we're talking about misconceptions in marriage. Mm-hmm. So it was an article that Artieka read that she brought to our attention, and we'll post it in the description below so you guys can kind of read it too. So there's an article. Basically, the conversation is based off an article. So let's get started.
All right.
So, misconceptions of marriage. What you got?
So I found an article on Life Made Conscious, and I'll put it in the show notes and the description box on YouTube. It has 10 common marriage misconceptions. I know we're not going to get to all of them, but the first one that I wanted to talk about was marriage should not be work.
It shouldn't.
You think so?
Yeah. It's funny because I was in a relationship, of course, before you. Thank you. My hair was coming up.
No, you were sweating a little bit.
Oh.
It's a little moist.
Oh, okay. Okay. Look at it. Look at you looking out for me. But no, I was in a relationship once, of course, before you, and we had problems. Like, it was issue after issue after issue. And my thinking was, we're supposed to go through this because it makes us stronger together.
I remember you telling me that, and I was like, that is the dumbest thing
It truly was the dumbest thing I could have said or done being in that relationship. But that was my thinking. Mm-hmm. So being in a relationship with you has been a lot easier and has dispelled that line of thinking.
I think easier doesn't not mean that it was work. It just means that it was easier.
Right.
Because you have to spend time validating the other person's feelings, and things of that nature. So it's just like, you don't want to sit up and just make it seem like it's not hard work.
Right.
It's just a different type of work than a bad relationship would be.
Right. And that's the thing. It was more so like with you, it was more so, hey, we have our issues, we have our problems, but it never got to the point to where it's like you're questioning if you want to be with this person or not.
What if you get to that point?
I mean, you have to deal with it. You have to really dig deep and figure out what's going on and why. Mm-hmm. You know, why you feel that way. Why, like, what's going on with you that's putting you in a situation or putting you in a place where you want to, you feel like you want to be away from this person.
Right.
And if that's the best thing for your life or if not. But yeah, marriage, you know, it's work, but it's not, you know, like, I don't know. I guess it's work, but it's not. It shouldn't be the forefront of the work. You know what I'm saying? Like, just getting to know a person, being friends with a person. That's not work. That's life.
I'll take your answer. Okay, so the next one was that you and your spouse are a unit and no longer individuals.
What you think?
I think that that's like, it's not true. Like, I think that, and I've talked about this on an episode very recently. I can't remember which one it was though, where I was just like, sometimes I don't want to be Tommy's wife and sometimes I don't want to be Lily's mom. I just want to be Artieka in that moment. I think that we have to remember that even though you are married to a person, you are still yourself. Like, you are still your own person. You still have your own interests. Everything can't be couple this, couple that. And like, people expect that when you get married.
Yeah, but most people expect that because of how their relationship goes and stuff like that. I don't expect that. Like I told you once before, give me something to cheer for you about. Yeah, we're the Townsends, but give me something to cheer for Artieka for. And I'll give you something for Tommy to cheer for Tommy for. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes us individuals. We just have to figure out that balance to grow together. Now it is like we've seen in many cases before where one person grows so high
by leaps and bounds.
Right. And then the other person is just left in the dirt. And it's like, well, you looking at that other person like, why are you not up here with me? Or how do I get you up there? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of times one person can get lost inside of the marriage. But
I think you also have to look at not just saying it as a loss within the marriage, because sometimes it's not that you're losing yourself in the marriage, but you're taking the back seat to take care of back end things that people don't get to see.
Yeah.
Like an example that sticks out in my mind is Dr. Dre and his wife.
Yeah.
They just recently filed for divorce, and people are like, oh my gosh, she wants to take him for all this money. But I'm like, we have to remember she was an attorney before they got married, and she chose to stay at home to allow him to go out and build the empire that is Dr. Dre, Beats by Dre, all those things. Could they have had a successfully functioning relationship if she had not?
I'm pretty sure they would have worked it out.
We don't know.
We don't know, and we'll never find out.
Right. And so with those things, it's not to say that she lost herself in the marriage. She just chose to be in the home,
right,
and not have the accolades that we would be looking for an attorney to have or to aspire towards, because at that moment having children was more important,
right?
Or having a family, I should say.
Right. And when it comes to, because it took me a little minute. Well, I ain't gonna say it took me a minute, but it like realizing that we are a family. It really set in when we had Lily. And it was like, dang, we do have we have a small little family now, and we've added to our family. We've like truly have a bond with Lily, and so then we of course before then, but we moved as a unit with those roles that we play, you know what I'm saying, on the back end, so it's even with what we're doing now.
But and those same things like stand. If I wasn't doing the things in the home that I'm doing as far as with Lily are concerned, and you had to, you wouldn't be able to accomplish some of the things that you're able to accomplish, and vice versa.
Right.
So I think we have to look at that as a whole and just not say that the person's not necessarily giving you something to cheer for, because sometimes they're helping you be able to cheer for yourself.
Right. So that's true.
I think that that's a misconception, and you are a unit, but you are still
right. And that's what I'm saying too. You still individuals, but you work together to build your individuality.
Right. All right. So the next one is, getting married will solve problems of trust and insecurity.
Man, no.
That is completely,
no.
absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, wrong.
Right. That's about the wrongest you could wrong could be.
Wrong.
Like, nah, that's not gonna fix trust issues. The only way to fix trust issues is if you just let go and trust somebody.
Build trust. Like,
right.
Decide to trust.
Right.
Because I don't know how to build trust.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to make the decision to say, hey, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to let this insecurity go. And you completely go for it.
Like, I've heard so many older people say, I can only trust you as far as I can see you. And I don't think that that's a way to live life.
I don't think so either, man. You have to like let people say their word, you know. Whatever they say they're gonna do, you know, how you have to expect people to do it until they prove it to you that they're not about their word. So you stop putting yourself in situations like that.
Right.
Marriage is not gonna it's not gonna change your mind all overnight. Marriage is a work in itself. You know what I'm saying? So like you still have to work on your marriage. You still have to trust inside your marriage. You still, those insecurities, you can't have insecurities in marriage. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, like, nah, that's by far the wrongest thing that you can think of. Like, nah, I'm gonna get married so we can get over these trust issues.
So I can like you and love you and think that you're gonna be where you're supposed to be. If you don't like a person before,
like, that's one thing that I always expected. You have to, once you get married, you have to accept everything that you have been accepting before you got married. And then some. That's true.
It's hard. Another one that was listed, because I'm not going to go through the full list of 10, but another one is that your spouse is responsible for making you feel better.
No and yes.
We learned this with Will Smith and Jada Pinkett
Did
Smith
we?
And August Alsina.
Oh, yeah. I say yes and no.
Why do you say yes and no?
My yes is because I'm there. You know what I'm saying?
You mean like feel better as in I'm sad. You can like say there was a death and you can comfort me. Is that what you mean by feel better? Okay.
But then no, it's like ultimately you as the individual person have to consciously say, I'm going to feel better. You know what I'm saying? Or you have to, like, if you're sick, you have to get over your sickness. Only thing I can do is give you soup, bring you a Sprite, bring you a ginger ale.
Say it again.
Ginger ale.
Okay.
You know, whatever, give you medicine, you know, take you to the doctor, take you to the hospital if need be. Those are the things that I can do, but I can't physically remove your sickness. You know, I can't, what is like being sad or something like that. I can't, like, you make that decision. You're an individual to make that decision. So
I think that you have to like look at the whole of why you're sad.
Yeah.
Or why you're depressed or whatever it is that you want this person to make you feel better about. Unless it's that person themselves that's making you feel a way, like you were mean to me. You not being mean to me can make me feel better.
Yeah.
But me being sad on my own, you can't make me feel better.
Right.
So I agree. And that's why I was like pointing out the Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, because that was one of the things that Will said was that Jada had to go and find her own happiness. She tried to find her happiness under somebody else.
Yeah. And
she just went on back where she was at first. But I think that you have to look at those, like the situation, examine it, go get therapy, go talk to Jesus, your pastor, somebody that can help you work through what the issue is. And once you can resolve the issue within yourself, you may or may not feel better, but at least you can get the issue resolved and you'll know what the underlying issue is.
Right. That's true.
I guess we'll just round it out with one more. Or no, we can do two more. This one was interesting. Kids will improve a marriage.
Nah.
If anything, kids will make you be like, I don't like this.
Right. Kids definitely challenge the marriage for better or for worse. But I mean, like, kids do improve the marriage just because then we're focusing on different things to do together.
But I don't think that improves the marriage. I think that improves the family.
And I feel like, you know, the family is embedded inside of the marriage.
And I disagree. And I say that because I see so many people who, once their kids are adults and out of the house, they realize they don't like each other.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I don't think kids improve the marriage.
And my thing is, it's like when it comes to your family is all started by your marriage. Yes, you still have to be married to each other and have to date each other. You know what I'm saying? But it has its own entity built inside of each other. You know what I'm saying? Because I strongly feel like you can be a family but not be married.
You can.
You know, I can, and I feel like you can be like, of course, you can be family and married. So yeah, you have these two entities, but they coincide with each other. A lot of times, it just depends on the situation. So, kids do improve in certain instances, but kids shouldn't be the main reason.
You should not have a baby to help your marriage.
Right. No, like
that is the dumbest thing that you could do. Like, it is essentially saying, I want to break up with this person because if I had issues with you and then we add
kids
in a kid,
magnify those
like
issues.
Kids make you tired, kids make you irritable, especially like when they're small. Like when they get older, I think that it can strengthen the marriage because it's you guys against them. Yeah. They're the enemy.
Right.
But when they're small and they're, you know, defenseless and you're doing everything for them, like the last thing you want to hear is your spouse talking about whatever overarching issue that you guys have. Cause it's like, dude, I'm doing this right now.
Right.
This baby depends on me to survive. And you talking to me about something else. I don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
So I can see, in theory, I see why people think that kids can save a marriage because they're like, he's going to stay for 18 years or she's going to stay for 18 years. But in actuality, it gives you time to be like, I don't really like anybody.
It's easy. It's simply like how you grow up and you stop watching cartoons. Like after a while, you won't.
You do that?
Yeah. Anyway, or you stop doing what you did as a child. You know what I'm saying? You mature. Your marriage does the same thing. It grows. That's why you count your anniversaries, I think. You know, because it matures and you guys do different things from when you first got married. Children being placed or being born of, you know, because of the marriage. It's the maturity going on with the marriage. So it doesn't, like if you had the issue before you had the children, you're going to have the issue after you have the children, but the issue is just going to be multiplied or magnified because every time you're trying to take care of this child or do something with this child, you see your spouse is instantly going to be like,
won't he come get this baby?
Right. You know, problems and issues are going to rise because of it's an extra person to take care of. So that's my thoughts.
All right. So let's round it out with this last one. Marriage has to be perfect or it's a failure.
No.
I don't know what a perfect marriage is.
I don't either.
I don't think they exist.
I don't think so either. Nobody's perfect. I think you should go into a marriage knowing that, hey, we're going to have issues. We're going to have problems. We're going to have arguments, you know, and everything like that. It's just how do we bounce back from it?
Everybody can create problems in a utopia.
Right.
Like it's somebody else's utopia, not always yours. So you could have this perfect idealized version of marriage and then somebody can come and spit on it and be like, this is trash. Yeah. I hate everything about this. And that's why every marriage is different. Every relationship is different. Every couple is different because there's always going to be things that you deal with that someone else wants. I remember talking to a friend, or they're a couple, and we were discussing This Is Us.
Yeah.
And Randall took all of their money and bought a building after he quit his job. And she was like, I just couldn't handle that. I was like, I'm married to Randall. Tommy would absolutely be like, I got $100,000 in savings. My daddy lived in this building. I'm about to buy this building and save it for this neighborhood. And I would literally be like his wife and just be like, okay. Because what else could you do in that moment besides say it's already been done?
Yeah.
So, I mean, and when you have those when you have those things that you're looking at, you're like, I could not do this, but someone else could be like, it's already happened. Like, what am I going to do? Yeah. Divorce them? So you have, your different sides to the equation. So you're Randall. I'm Dylan.
That's funny. I'm Randall.
I mean, I don't know what Randall's doing these seasons, but that season you were definitely Randall. Randall was you. Yeah. If they had told me the character was based off of you, I'd be like, yep. I can see it. He just wasn't adopted by a white family.
Man, that's hilarious. So, do we have any listener letters for today?
Yes, we do. Please send your listener letters to ouraugustlovestory@gmail.com, and it just may be read aloud on the show. So today's letter says, in 2018, I had a situationship that lasted for about 6 months. The guy was verbally abusive and was an all-around bully. He managed to talk his way into moving in with me, but I quickly had to put him out and get a emergency protective order out against him. A week after I did the emergency protective order, I found out that I was pregnant with his child after he told me that he couldn't even have kids. Fast forward to today, he still does not have any knowledge of the baby, and I've been conflicted on reaching out to him about our child because of our past problems. I'm scared that he's going to try to get custody or take him away from me. I'm really torn. What would you guys do?
I don't know. That's tough. Because, I mean, you don't want to keep a child from their father. Man, tell them. But tell them in a way, get the courts involved. Like, you run into issues that, like, when you two, first thing, try it out. It may.
What does that mean?
I mean, like let him know that he has a child. Get a DNA test. Run the motions and everything like that, and you guys try to co-parent. If that co-parenting doesn't work, then get the courts involved. Get the courts involved in a matter of, this is what you have to do. This is what I have to do, and keep it pushing that way. Or just don't say it.
My suggestion would be to figure out what you're hoping to gain from this.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Because if this person was abusive, unless you said that he was verbally abusive, but usually emergency protective orders don't go for just verbal abuse unless they're making terroristic threats.
Yeah.
I guess I would look at what I'm hoping to gain from him being in the child's life. Because depending on how old your child is at this point, everything's still going to have to go through you.
Yeah.
And 2018, so two at best. Like, that's the absolute most that this child could be, is 2. The child still has to get everything from you. All the decisions have to be made through you. And if he goes and he seeks custody, then he has rights to things, be it this child. And he also has access to you because of this child. So I'm never going to say don't reach out to him, but you can't plan a utopia in your mind with him about how he's going to react to this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you might just reach out to him and tell him, hey, I have a baby and it's yours. And he's like, I can't have kids. End of discussion.
Right.
And he's not going to even entertain a DNA test or custody agreements or anything like that. But I would look into what you're hoping to gain for it. What would be the best outcome? What would be the worst outcome? And 9 times out of 10, what's going to happen is middle of the road.
Yep.
And then go from there with your planning. Good luck.
Right.
let us know how that goes for you, because I'm really interested to hear.
Yeah.
Whatever you decide. But it's been 2 years, so
yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, that was tough there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that helps. If not, good luck. That's about all I got for you, man.
Yeah, y'all give us something in the comment section.
Yeah, let us know, because I mean, like, you think about it, man. It's the best way to handle the situation is to, like, set your limits, set your bounds, and play within them bounds. And involving the law sets a bound, or sets a boundary. So, yeah. So, what's the quote of the episode?
Picked a little bit of a throwback, if you would have it. So this song says, "Yo, I be buying them V's, so all my girls be eyeing C's. Coming backstage, dying to get pleased. You got me, I rock the Versace and linen. Why you stop here grinning with a bunch of foxy women? Why you speedball with cards? That's invalid. I get clothes custom made from a stylist." I'm gonna just stop there.
Okay.
Cruising my Lexus land with no mileage.
I thought you stopped.
I'm done. That was "Crush on You" by Lil Kim. That was actually Lil Caesar's verse.
Yeah.
I remember that video. I used to love watching The Box.
Yeah.
And Lil Kim and all her wigs.
Yeah.
I guess that's how little girls feel about Nicki Minaj now.
I guess so. Megan Thee Stallion. Cardi B. Anyway.
All of them.
Misconceptions about marriage. They definitely can harm, hinder the relationship that you're in. So, I mean, the best advice I can give, or the best advice that I took myself, was just come in with no expectation.
Set your expectations with your spouse, not with the world.
Right. But yeah, so you do that, man, I think you'll be fine. So, thank you guys for listening to another episode of August Love Story, the podcast.
Please like this video if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Please also subscribe to the channel via whatever podcast service you are listening to the podcast through. Turn on the notifications, and please follow us on social media. August Love Story on Facebook and Instagram. Artieka is my Instagram handle. Tommy's is I am Tommy T the Third. Did I miss anything?
No, sounds like you got everything.
That was wordy. Okay.
All right, guys, we're out, man. Peace.
Bye.